Hello everyone, Nikhil this side from Coding Beam. So in this video we are going to learn about the front end development of how we can build the front end of our application, and about the back end we have already built in the previous video. So now it's time to build the front end and to connect with the back end. So now about the front end development, the front end contains the user interface that helps to interact with the backend server and the database, and it can be built with so many programming languages and frameworks like Angular, React, .NET and so many programming language. And it's the view part of the MVC structure, and the model and the controllers are from Node.js, which we have already built in the backend. So it's the view part which renders the data which comes from the backend. So now why we need the front end? And to easily interact with the backend we need the front end development, and to easily perform CRUD operations with the dynamic UI we need the front end development for our application. So now how we are going to build the backend? So about the first, there will be the React.js, which is a JavaScript library to build the user interfaces, and it's a view part according to the MVC, as model and the controllers are in the backend, as we have already built the backend with the Node.js, Express.js and the MongoDB. So now we are going to use the React.js to interact with the front end. So now, and the second thing, there will be the Material UI, which is the React UI component library. And Material UI is a design library in which it helps us to give some components like the buttons, sliders, the form controls and much more. So you can check it out by going to their website. So now let's see how can we build the front end of our application, and first installing the React app. So now we are in the Visual Studio Code, and now we will create a new React app with the command line, and the command will be the npx, and will the npx, then the create the React app. And now the app name, space the app name, the app name will be the front end. So now the command is the npx create React app, and the name of our application will be the front end app, and you have to make sure that the name does not contain any capital letters. So now if I will now hit enter, then you will see the front end app folder will be created here in the directory, and it will install the new React app in this folder. So we have to wait till it installs. So guys, now here you can see React app is created here. So if we have to start the application now, so we have to run the command npm start in the command window. So if I will run this command, then you will see the React script starts, and it will start the application in the localhost 3000. So guys, now you can see the React app is here. So if I will now go to the Visual Studio Code now, so if I will have to see the folder structure here, so first there will be the node modules, and the node module contains the packages which we have to install, or which will install the packages with us. And the second one, there is the public folder contains the HTML file, and the React app contains only a single HTML file in it. So there you will see the div id equals to the root, and we have to perform all operations on this div in the single index.html5, and it will contain some logos also like favicon and all. And there, and the next there will be the src folder, and the source folder contains the main components like index.js is the main JavaScript endpoint, and it will contain the single app application like the single app component, which is the main component in which we render all the components and all. So it contains only the single component here. So then you will see it will render this component into the document.getElement by id root, which we saw in the index.html there. So it will be there. And now the source contains the main components also, so it will contain some components folders and all. And after the source there is the git ignore file, so we have to ignore some packages like node modules and all, and the package.json and the readme and nd. Package.json contains the repository for our application, and the name is the front end app, the version is the 0.1.0, and all of the details of our application. So guys, this is the folder structure. So guys, now we have to see the development of it. So first we have to go to the source, and if I will now go to the main app.js, which is the main file, I will now delete from the header, and if I will now render only the hi here, or it will contain the h3. This is my application. So if I will now save, then you will see there will be some errors in the console window that we have imported this and all, but now there is no any errors. So if I will now go to the main app.js, so then you will see this is my applications here. So if I will now remove some files like import the logo from svg, if I will now remove this, and if I will now remove some files here like the setup test.js, the report web vitals index.logo.svg. So if I will now delete these three files, and if I will now delete one more file which is app.test.js, If I will now delete this, and now we have to go to the index.js file, and there it is importing the report variable. So we have to remove this line, and it is the report variable, so we have to remove this also. So if I will now save, then you will see logo.svg is there. So we have to go to the app.js. So guys, now if I will save the application, then you will see there will be no any errors in the console window. So guys, now you will see this is the default layout of React app. So now this is containing the middle of the web page. So we have to go to the app.css also. If I will now remove these files like app.css, if I will now remove all of these, and if I will now save again, then you will see. If I will now go to the index.css file also, if I will now remove this, or if I will now give the margin here to the star, like the star, and the margin, and equals to the 0. So if I will now save, then you will see this will be the default application with the React. So if I will now save, then you will see now this contains no any empty spaces and margins at all. So this is the default app now. So now we have a default application, and now we will create some components. And about the components are the independent and the reusable building blocks of a React application. So the elements of the HTML like the header, the div elements and the product pages now will contain its own components. So now we will create some components. So we have to create some files in the source folder. So in the source, I will create a header file to the header.js. And it will contain a CSS file also like header.css, and then we have to create a products file. So then it will be the products.js, and the next file will be the CSS file of products, and the products.css file. So now the product file will contain all the products by calling the product API from the backend. And now we have to make another product file, and it was a single product, the product.js, and it will contain CSS file also product. So now the product.js and the product.css is there. And now we have to create a one more component, and it will be the home component, in which we can add products to the database. So it will contain the home.js, and then it will be the home.css again. So now first we will configure the header of our application. So we have to go to the header.js file, and now we will import the React from the React, and we have to create a component function, and it will be the, and now it's a arrow function here, and the const header equals to the function, and now the return statements with the div inside, and the export default like header, and we have a default export of the header. And now we will import the header in the app component. So now we will install some packages here, and it will be the router package from the React, and it is a React router DOM. So if you go to the Google and you type React router DOM, so now you will see there will be the very first link of the React router. See that link, and there is some steps about it. So you can just directly copy the npm install command from that, and I will just copy it, and I will just paste here in the command window. So I will create a new terminal. So then we have to go to the directory. So the npm install React router DOM, and we have to wait till it installs. Until then we can just create some CSS files. So now the div, and now I will remove this div, and I will create a header, and now the header will contain a nav tag with the class name of the header nav, and it will be the nav dot, and the class name will be the header nav. So now in the nav, and now it will contain a UL inside it to create a header and to create some links of the UL. So it will contain an unordered list within it. So it will be the UL, and the class name will be the header UL. And now in the header UL, it will contain some links element with the LIs, with the li, and it will be like the home, and then it will be again the li, and it will contain the product. So if I will now save, and if I will now go to the main app component, so main app.js. So first, if I will now import the header component there, so it will be the header like app.js instead of this h2, and I will just import the header here to header, and it will import the header. So now you will see the header is now imported here. So if I will now save, So then you will see the application contains some headers. Now you will see the home and products are there. So if I will now go to the header tab, like if I will now go to the main header file, and if I will just go to the CSS file of it, like first I will import the CSS, import. So it will be the import header.css. So now we have to go to the CSS file of the header, and first there was a header tab at the header nav, and it will contain some background color will be now the blue. So then if I will now save, then you will see the background color will be now blue of the header. So now we have to do to the UL. So it will be the UL like header UL, and the UL will contain display as the flex. So now the display is flex, and now it's a part of the CSS flexbox. So about the flexbox, the flexbox is a one-dimensional layout method for arranging items in the rows or columns, and it is a new way in the CSS. So now we will contain the flexbox here. So now in the flexbox, first we will define the display as flex. So now we have already defined. So it will now contain. So if I will now save, then you will see it will contain in the line. So now we will give a property of the flex as the justify content and to the flex start. So if I will now save, then you will see the content will be the same in the line like home and products. So now we have to give here the li, like we have to now design the li inside it. So now header ul, and it will contain the li tag inside the header ul. So it will contain the padding of the 10px, and now it will contain the cursor to the pointer. And now if I will now save, then you will see the padding is there and the cursor is there. So if I will now move over it, then you will see my mouse, and it will act as a link. Now we have to define here the color. If I will define the color as the white. So if I will now save, then you will see the home and the products here. So now if we can define in the li like list style type, and now if I will give a value to the none, then you will see there will be no more disk inside it. So now you will see home and products are there, and now there are no more the dots inside it as we see in the unordered list. So we can give a new hover effect also like the ul and li header ul, and then giving it a li as a hover, and the hover will contain. So whenever we hover over it, and it will contain the background as the white, and the color will be equals to the dark blue. So if I will now save, then if I will now go here, so then you will see now home and the product. So now you will see whenever I will hover over it, the background is there, home equal to product equals to. So now we have now created our header. So first we will build a product component with that. So now we have to go to the product component in the products file. So we have to go to the products.js file, and now we have to import the React. So now we have imported the React from here, and now it contains a return div in the products function. And so now we have to create a new products file. So now in the products, we will build the layout of how our products gonna look in the web. So I will create a dummy object here. So first it will be the const dummy products, and it will be equals to an array of objects, and the objects will contain the ID or just the name of the product first, the name like it is like a mobile phone, and it will contain the image. So I will pick the image URL here with that image URL, and then it will be the price, and I will pick the price at the 20,000, and then it will contain the description, and the description will also contain some string like this is new, and this is a new mobile phone, and it will contain the description, and then in the end it will contain a quantity, and the quantity will be equals to like 12 quantity we have. So this will contain the array of products, and I will just copy and paste these products one more time. Like now we have 3 products, and now inside the products component, first we will create a div, like div is already there, and I will give it a class name as a main, and then in the main div, and then we have to render the UL, and the UL. Inside the UL we have now to render the UL here, and the UL will contain every LI. So in the LI we have to give a new product, and now we have to just map through the dummy products. Like now we have the dummy products array, like here are the 3 products, and then we have to give every 3 products to the product component. So for like we can do with the map, because the for loops are not allowed here, so it is a map dummy products dot map, and the map function contains a callback function inside it. So we have to provide a function, and then it will contain an arrow function, and it will contain the iterator here, and the iterator will be like the single product, and now it will contain the key also with that, because we need to define a key also with that. So the product will contain every product, and now in this set we have now to provide a new LI inside it. Every time it will contain the LI, and the LI will contain a key and equals to the index, and then it will contain a product, the main product component. And the product component first we have to build like this, and this will be the product components. So if we can create just a sample product component by this, so now this will be the sample product component. So now we have to go again to the product.js file, products.js file. So then it will contain a new product inside the every LI product, and it will contain the props here. And now props are used to send the data between the components, so we have to use here the props. We have to provide here the name of the product, like name, and the name will contain like product.name. So it will contain the product.name, and then after the name it will contain the image, and the price will contain, and it will be the product.price, and we have to provide an ID also, and it will contain the ID first. So then the product and the ID equals to the, like if we provide a sample ID with the key also, so we can provide also like ID will be the key with that. So now you will see, now we have a new product with the details. So if I will now save, and now it will contain the every LI. So we have to show the products in this page from the product component, from this product component. So then we have to build this product component now. So we have to go to the product component, and I just now received the props here from that. So first, if we are giving the props from the product.js file, products.js file, so now we are giving some ID prop, the name prop, the image. So we have to get here also. And so now in the function parameters we have to define the props. It will contain the props, and then it will contain the products also. So now we have to define every product now here. So then it will contain some the div, and now the class name equals to the product main, and it will contain image first, like the image, the source will be equals to now in the expressions. So now we can get the image from the props, like we are sending the image from this, like image. So we can, and then we can type the props dot image, and the alt will be like, and it will be like the props dot name of the product. So the image is there, and now after the image it will contain a new it will contain a h4 element, and it will contain the props dot the name of the product, and then the description we can hide just. So now it will contain the p tag with the price. It will be the props dot price, and now it will contain the button. So now buttons to delete and edit, to delete and to edit the product. So if I will now save, if I will now go to the products.js file, and we can enter the products in the main app.js file. So if I will now go to the app.js file, and if I will just import the products.js file there, so it will contain, after the header it will contain the products. So if I will now save, then I should see the products, like index is not defined. We have an error in the products.js, like products, like the index is not defined, like key. The key will be equals to the key this here. So it will be equals to the key. So if I will now save, then I should see all the products there. You will see the mobile phone, this mobile phone, see. So now you will see all of the product components, all the single product components are working now. So now we have to make an alignment now. So first we have to go to the product.js file, and we have to import the product.css file. So import, and it will contain the import statement as product.css. So now we have to move on to the product.css, and then we have to define some styles. So the first, it contains the product main, so we have to copy, and then if I will give a new class name with that, and then if I will just provide a new padding with it, and it will contain the padding of the 10px. So if I will now save, then you will see there will be some padding around the components. So then you will see there is some padding behind the layouts. So now we have to define some more styles with it. So if I will now define here a new card inside this, so it will be wrapped inside a new div. So after the product name, if I will define a new div with a class name of the card, and then if I will just wrap these divs into this card, so then if I will now save, then everything would be the same. But if I will now go to the product.css file, and if I will now define the style for the card, and it contains the card, and the margin will be the 10 pixels around it, and it will contain padding again, and it contains the 10 pixels in it, and it will contain the width of around something. If we provide a width of around 300 pixels, or if you provide for the 250px, so it would be the width, and it will contain the height also. The height of the card will contain the 250px, and it is the same now. So then the weight equals to this, and if I will just define a box shadow, so box shadow will contain the first 5px from the down, 5px from the up, and the 10px is the blur, and it will contain the shadow of the CSS color, the shadow of it, and it will contain the CCC. So the shadow color will be now the CCC. So if I will now save, then you will see all of these products will contain some shadows and the products inside it. So then you will see it is now merged. So if I will now go, if I will now just define some headings with that. So if I will now define here the style for the image inside the card, so it will contain the image like card, and it will contain the image. So then the align content of this with the center in the card, and it will contain margin of the 5 pixels. So if I will now save, then you will see there is some content in it. If I will now define a size of it also, like the width of the image is equals to the 80% of the parent div, and it will contain the height of the 50% of the parent div, like 50% of the 250px. So if I will now save, then you will see the product is now here. Now you will see this is now a new card. So if I will now define a more style with the image, because now the image is not good. So if I will now provide the style for the image, like the width is equals to the 90%, and the height will equals to the 50%. So if I will now save, then you will see the card now. So then you will see now the card is looking good here. So now the image is there, the name is there of the product, the price, and 2 buttons are there. So if I will now define here some styles with it, like if I will now define here the border style with it, like the box, or like a border radius 5 pixels inside it, and it will also contain that. So if I will now save, then you will see image borders are there also. So first the image is now configured, and then we have to style the h4 div, and now we have to define the h4. So it will contain the card, and it will target the h4 element, and now it will contain the margin of the 5 pixels, and it will contain the padding of the 5 pixels again. So if I will now save, then you will see the margin and paddings are there. So then we have to target the card, and then we have to target the P element with that. So it will be the P, and it will contain padding of the 5 pixels, and it will contain the font family of the like this. So if I will now save, then you will see all of the design is complete. So now we have to go to the products.css file, and we have to import the CSS here also in the products.js, and now we have to define some styles here, and it will contain first the UL, and the UL will contain the display as the flex. So if I will now save, and you will see all of the items now will be in the row and the flex direction, and now we have to define here the align items. So the align items will be in the center. So if I will now save, then you will see they will the center aligned in the all of the elements. So now we have to define here the flex wrap, and it will contain the wrap inside it, flex wrap, and we have to give a value as the wrap. So it will wrap all of the content inside this div, and then you will see now this is the disk coming of the every list before the every list. So we have to style that, and now the li will contain the list style type and it will contain the none. So if I will now save, then you will see the disk will not be there for any list. So now we have to define some things, like after this card we have to define here the hover effect also, and for the hover effect, and it will contain in the products.css file, product.css file, and it will contain like the card, and it will contain hover, and we have to define here the box shadow will be the double now, and now the box shadow will be the double as we define this. So now it will be the double. So if I will now save, and if I will now give the value of 10 pixels, and again this to the 10 pixels, and this will contain the 20 pixel. So if I will now save, then you will see the hover effect will be there on every card here. So now the card design is completed, and now we have to fetch the card from the database. And now for the fetch, we have to go to the products.js file, and we have now to remove this dummy data, and now we have to fetch the data from the database. And for that we have to move on to the database, and then first we have to go to the backend that we have built, and now we have to open the server here in the backend. So then you will see I have already opened the backend here. So now we have to move on to that, and then we have to provide a request here, and it will be new HTTP request for that. So now we have built the layout of how our products gonna look, and now it's time to fetch and show the real products that we have in the database. So I have added some products in the database, and now we will fetch all the products from that. And now for this we can use the Axios also, which is a third-party library to make HTTP requests, but we have an alternative for that, which is already available in the JavaScript, the fetch function from the JavaScript. And about the fetch function, it is used to make asynchronous HTTP request and API calls to the backend server, and it always returns a promise object, and we can use the then and catch statements after it. So now we will see about the fetch function in that. So now we have to go to the products.js file with that. So we will use the use effect hook with that, and now with that we have to import the use effect hook here. For that it will be import the use effect from the React, and now I have imported that, and now we have to use here the use effect hook. So now we have to go to the products component, and about the use effect hook, the use effect hook is used to run a part of the code whenever the component has been rendered, and it takes two arguments, and the first is the function which we want to run, and the second it takes the array of dependencies, and the dependency array, it can be a variable. So whenever the variable will change, it will rerun the use effect hook code inside it. And example, it can be used in some counters that whenever the count will change, it will run every time once the count will change, and if we do not specify any value in the dependency array, then it will run only once whenever the component is loaded. So now we will use the use effect here. So we have to create a use effect here, use effect, and first we have to provide a function, and it will be a callback function with that, and it will be in the curly braces. Then as a second parameter, it will take an array of dependencies. So about it, so now we have a use effect function, and now we have to create an asynchronous HTTP request with the fetch function. So first we have to create a function inside it, and it will be the const like fetch handler, and the fetch handler equals to an async function, async, and it will be a function, and then we have to create a await, and then await, and then the fetch. So the fetch will take the URL here, and the URL we have to go to the backend server, and we have to open the server here, and now you will see it is open on the localhost at the rate 5000. So we have to create the request at the localhost 5000. So we have to go there, and it will be HTTP localhost at 5000, and the fetch takes a second parameter as an object, and the object we have to specify some methods. But in the get request we don't have to specify any methods here, so we have to directly skip this part. So I will just make a request with the database, and it will send us the products, and then it will return the response, and then we have to respond. So we have to use here the then, as it returns the promise. So then it will return the response, and we have to convert the response to the JSON to use response.json. And then after converting the response to the JSON, and now we have to get the data, and so I will use another then, and it will take the D as a parameter or the data, as the parameter value, and the data contains in the products. So whenever we make the request to the backend, it will send us in the data.products. So we have to get here the data.products. So to store this products here, we can create a new useState hook with that, and the useState is used to build the stateful logic for the functional components inside it. So we will use here the useState. So we have to import the useState first. So we will import the useState from the React, and after the use effect I will import the useState, and then we have to define the useState here and the const, and it will be in brackets, and then first it will take a variable in it. So the first we can define a product, and then we can define a second parameter as the set products, because the second parameter will be the function which will update the first parameter value. So after this it will contain the set products, and it will be equals to the useState, and the useState will contain a default value or an initial state. So we have to give an initial state, and we know that this function, batch function, will return an array of objects. So we can define here an array, and now we will use it directly in that. So in the then statement, whenever we will get the JSON in it, so we will just set the products in it, like set products, and the set products will be used, and then it will contain the data dot products, as we will get the data in the products. So in the then we have specified that. So after the set products, so the catch, and it will contain an error parameter. So whenever there will be an error, so we will just console.log the error in the console.log the error. So if I will now save, and if I will now run this function in the fetch handler in the use effect, so to the fetch handler, and after the fetch handler, if I will now just console.log the products which we have stored in the useState now, so if I will now just console.log only the products, so it will be, so if I will now save, then you will see, if I will now go to the Chrome in the developer tools, so if I will now refresh, then I should see the products here, but there is an error that request failed, access to fetch. So now this is the code's error. No access control origin header is present to the requested response. So to fix this error, we have to go to the backend. If I will now clear the screen, now we have to install a new third-party package, and it is a course. So we have to install the course, npm I course. So if I will now install the course, it will solve this error because it is now coming for the security reasons. So if I will now skip the security part here, and if I will now import the course here in the app.js file, so if I will now import the course, like const course equals to the require, and the require will contain the course inside it. So if I will now save, and if I will now go to the middleware part, and if I will now use just the middleware, so this is not a middleware, so if I will now copy this, if I will now paste this, so if I will now use the course first, so it will be the use app.use, and it will be the course. So if I will now save, then if I will now send the request again in that, so if I will now send the request again, if I will now refresh it, then I should see the products in that. So now, so the thing is that we are now logging the products in the use effect hook, and now if I will now remove this from here, and if I will now paste this after the use effect hook, and if I will now use this, and now if I will now save, then you will see the products are there in the console. So now you will see the ID, the name, properties of that are there, because now the use effect hook will run after the component is rendered. So the products will now be blank, so that if I will now use the products, whenever the component will be re-rendered, then we will get the products in the console window. So now it's time now to remove the dummy products from here, and if I will now use the actual products from map, so if I will now save this from the actual products, so then you will see now we have the products. So now we can fetch the products from the database, and we can display it to our site. And now it's time to build the add functionality. But before the add functionality, first we will make a routing functionality, and then we will make a add, delete and update operations with all products IDs in the URLs and all. So we have already installed the React Router DOM, and now we have to go to the top level API of the React, and we have to wrap the app component with the browser router in the index.js. So we will go to index.js, and now I will import the browser router from the React Router DOM. So we have to import, and it will contain a statement after this, import something from and it will contain the React router DOM. So we have to import the browser router here. So it will contain the browser router, and then we have to wrap the app component with the browser router. So we have to wrap this like browser router, and if I will now save, so now we have to go to the app.js, and now we have to implement the app functionality. So now we have to implement the router functionality with app.js. So first we have to go to the app.js, and then we have to import something from the React router DOM, and it will be the switch. And then we have to import here the routes. Then we have to import here the redirect. So about the switch is used to switch between the multiple pages, and the route is used to create a route with that, and the redirect is used to redirect one route from the another route. So then we have to use here this. So the header will be used everywhere in the app. So we have to use here the everywhere, and after the header, if I will now create a new route with this switch, so first we have to wrap it inside the switch. So the switch will contain the route functionality inside it, and now to contain a route we have to give a route, and first it will take a default route, and we have to provide here the prop with the path, and we have to define the path to the default path with it. So we have now defined the default path, and now we have to give here the functionality. Like for the default, we have to go here the home. So the default functionality will go to the home page. So if I will now import the React here, like if I will now use here like this is home. So if I will now save, and if I will now import this in the app.js file like this, if there is a default path, so we have to import here the home file. So we have to import here the home. So if I will now save, then I should see like this is the home. So now this is the default. So if I will update this, so now you will see this is the home, but there is a products is also coming there, because now we have to implement here the exact, because now the products will contain from the local of 3000 and slash and the products. So now it will contain the same route, like it is coming from the local of 3000 and then the slash which contains the home, and it contains the products. So it will show the home and the products both. So we have to use here the exact, like if this is the exact path, then only we have to show the home. So we have to use here the exact. So if I will now use here the exact only, so if I will now save, and you will see there will be no any products there with that. So if I will now remove the product from here, so then you will see there is products coming, because we have now not defined the products here. So to define the product, we have to define another one with that. Like if I will define another route with that, like route, and it will contain the path to the products. It will contain to the products. If I will now wrap the products inside this path, and if I will now use here the exact to, then if I will now save, so now you will see this is the home route, and now only the home is showing. So if I will now go to the products, so then you will see there will be the products in that. So now this is how the router functionality will work. So then we can implement the steps with that. Now if I want to use here the products functionality with the default route, so for that first we have to use here the redirect. Like if I will now go to this route, and this will redirect to the products. So if I will now remove the home for here, and if I will now create another route for the home, so it will contain the exact and that, and it will contain the home. So if I will now use here the home for that, and for the default route, we have to just redirect the path from the default to the products, and we have to show the products in the default page. So it will contain like the redirect which we have imported from that, and the redirect will contain a two path inside it, and it will contain the products. So it will go to the products path, and then if I will now save, and if I will now just close the tag, so if I will now save, then it will go from the default to the products, and whenever it will go to the products, it will show the products component. So if I will now save, then you will see, if I will now remove the products from here, so now you will see if I will now go to the default, then it will go to the products here. So now this is how the redirect functionality will work. So now we have to make sure that these links are working now. So then we have to go to the header, and then we have to import here the nav link from the React router DOM. So I will import it now, and now we have to wrap this li from this nav link. So it will contain the nav link, and it will contain the prop as the 2. So it will contain the 2, and it will be equals to the home. So then from the home, it will go to the home, and now we have to just close this nav link here, and then we have to wrap the li with it. So if I will now save with that, if I will now save, then you will see if I will now click here to the home, then I will now go to the home. So if I will now remove this, if I will now click here the home, then it will go to the home tab. So now we can see the home tab. So we have to do the same for the products also. So it will contain the nav links to the products, and with the to prop, and the to will contain to the products. And now we have to just close this tag. So then we have to remove here the tag, and we have to use here the nav link, and then we have to wrap the products with the nav link element. So if I will now save, then I should see, if I will now click the products, then I should go to the products, and if I will now click to the home, then I should go to the home, and without refreshing the page. So this is how the React works, and now this is how the React Router DOM works. So if I will now provide here some style with it, so we have to provide here a style like UI li, and the li will contain, and the li color will be like, it will contain the color as white. So if I will now save, then I should see the color equals to the white with that, and the text decoration with the li will contain as the none. So if I will now provide a class name to it, it will contain a class name as the like a link item, or like the link, and it will also contain the class name as link. And if I will now define the style for it, like the link here, and it will be the class of the link. So if I will now save, and you will see now the products is equals to this, and now we have to implement the add, delete and update operations with that. And for that we have to provide multiple routes, but we will do it later now. So now in the home component, we will now create a form for the add component. So it will add the products to the database. So now we will implement the add product to it. So now we will create the form to add the products to the database. So now we can use the Material UI form. So we will go to the Material UI, and then we can install the Material UI from this command. So I have already installed it. So you can install it from this command by copying this command, and you have to paste in the terminal, and then you have to hit enter. And now I will go to the components. So I will select here the text field component, and I will copy the text field from that, like this outline this here. So I will copy, and I will go to the home.js. So now we will create a new form tag with that, like form. And then we have to remove the action from that, because we will define the on submit here, and I will just paste this text field component from that, and we have to import the text field from the Material UI. So we have to type the import this from the Material UI, and it will be the MUI material, and then we have to import the text field. So it will contain the text field. So if I will now save, you will see now we have the outline form here. So now we have to design the forms, but before that I will copy this text field multiple times. So I will copy this, like we have some fields in the database. Copy this, like now we have the 4 fields. So now you will see there are some forms in that. Now we have to give a class to the form. So to design the CSS with it, so we have to give a form as a class. Class name will be equals to the like form control, and then we have to use here the form control class in the home.css file. So we have to import the home.css, and then we have to create a home.css also with that. Now we are in the home.css. So I will copy this class, and now we have to style this page. So now to style this, first we will give a style of the display, and the display will contain this time, and it will contain the display as flex. So if I will now give the display flex, it will be the same in the lex. So now you will see it will contain the flexworks with that. So now if I will define it as the flex direction to the column, like flex direction, so now you will see there will be in the lines. So if I will now save, then you will see outlined outline. So now they are in the lines, and now we have to define it as the align content to the left. So then you will see it will be aligned to the left of the page. It is now aligned. And now before that, if I will now give the style to the parent element, like this is the home, like class name equals to the home, and the add, or like this is the home class. So if I will now define the home class there also, so it will contain the home. Before that, we can define here the margin of 10% from all the sides, and here we can define here padding of 10 pixels, like from all the sides. So if I will now save it, then you will see it will be in this line. So if I will now define here some more content, like if I will define a border, so it will contain the 2 pixels from the solid, and the color, it will contain the hash CCC. So if I will now save, then it will contain the border from all sides. So now you will see the border is there, and the border will contain the radius in itself. So it will contain the border radius, and it will contain the 10 pixels. So if, and now we have to give a margin between the forms. So in the text field, then we have to give a prop, and it contains the margins. So we have to define here, and it will be equals to the normal. So if I will define as the margin equals to the normal to all the forms here. So if I will now give this, if I will now copy this, and if I will now paste it here also, and here also. So if I will now save, then you will say it will contain some margins between the forms. So now you will say it contains some margins within it. And now we have to define here an number field. So to get the number fields, first we have to go there and we have to grab the number field now. So now you will see this contains the number field, so we have to grab this field also. So select on the source and you have to grab the number field, like this contains the number, like text field id equals to the number. So copy this and you have to paste here the number field here. So if I will now save again, then you will see this will contain a number also. So now we have to define another checkbox also because of the is featured field in the database. So to define the checkbox, first we have to go to the checkbox and select it. So we have to select from this, like we have to select from that, from the components here. So now you will see this contains a checkbox here in the components. So go to this and you have to select a basic checkbox for that. So if I will define a label here, so it will contain a form group and then it will contain the form control label and all. So if I will now select this from that, if I will now copy this, so then you will see, if I will now go and if I will now paste, so then you will see, and then we have to import the form control label also from the material UI. So select this and it will auto import between this. So we have to define that. And now if I will now save again, then you will see this will contain the checkbox also. So if I will now reload, and then we have to wait till it compiles it, and we have to import the checkbox also from that. So you have to import that and it will auto import from that. So if I will now save again, so then you will see it will contain the checkbox in the form also. So then you will see it contains now the checkbox also. So now all of the fields are defined, like the name, description, the number and the price and the quantity and all. So now it will contain all the fields in the database. So now we have here to give the name to every field here to get the value from that. So we have to provide a name and it will contain, like it will contain the product name, and this will contain the name as the description, and now this will contain the name as the price, and this will contain the name now as the quantity, and this will contain the name as, and it will be the as is featured. So we have to define the name as is featured in that is, and now we have to define all of these fields in the use state. So now we will use here the use state to get the values of these forms from that. So it will contain the use state. So like we have to define here like the inputs, and we have to define the set inputs. So the set inputs will update the value of the inputs, and in the default, first we have to define the initial values to all of these input fields. So it will contain equals to the use state. So it will import the use state from that. So now it will contain an object which will contain all of the properties like the name, the description, the price and all. So now we have to define it as the name, and the name will contain the default value as an empty string, and then we have to define here the description, and the description will also contain the default value as empty, and then we have to define here the price, and the price will also contain as the empty string again, and then we have to define here the image, and the image URL will contain the string here again. So the image will contain as the string, image string will contain the blank URL, and then it will contain the quantity, and the quantity will contain here the blank again, and then we have to define the is featured, and the is featured will contain a boolean value, and it will contain it true or false. So it will contain like the false in the default. So if I will now save, and if I will now use this input values in their values, so first the text field will contain a default value. So we have to define the default value equals to the like inputs dot name. So now it will contain the inputs dot name, and in the description it will contain the value as the inputs dot description of the product. And now we have to define here the image also from that description price, and now it will contain the price text field like value, and it will equals to the price dot price, and it will contain the image. So now image is not here, so I will copy this and I will duplicate this here again. So then this will contain like the image, and it will be equals to the name equals to the price, so it will contain the image now. So name equals to the image. So then it will contain the quantity will contain the value will be equals to the like the input state inputs dot quantity in that, and then we have to define here the checkbox. So now we have to get the values from every text field, and for that first we have to define a function, and it will update the values of the set input field, and it will update all the values like name, description, price and quantity, like we have defined the name here also. So it will update the names and the property values to all the fields here. So first we have to define a function, and it will contain the handle change. So the const handle change, and it will be equals to a function, and it will contain a parameter as the event, and we have to define the function as arrow function here. So it will contain an arrow function, and now we have to define an onChange prop in every text field, so that whenever any input field value will change, so it will go to this function and it will update the value from the respective property like the name. So whenever the name will change, like here we have defined the name, so whenever the name will change, so it will update the name property here with the data. And whenever the description will change, so it will go to the handle change again. So it will go to the description field and it will update the description. And for that, first we have to define the onChange to every text field. So it will contain the onChange equals to the handle change. It will automatically give it the event property in that. So we have to define the onChange to every input field, and it will contain the handle change again. Handle change. So we have to define in every text field here, and then if now we have to define the function, and now in the function now we have to give the values at the set input, and it will contain the set input here. So now the set input will update the values to the input state object. So set inputs, now we have to grab the previous state in that. So first we have to define the set inputs, and it will contain the function, but we have to get the previous state also, like whenever the name field will change, like if it will change the name as NIKH, so the NIKH will be stored in that, and then we have to update the new values with the previous values also. And for that we have to define the previous state, like it will contain a variable as the previous state, and it will contain an arrow function inside it, a callback function inside it, and then we have to define here first like this. So it will contain a previous state and it will update the values from that. So now it is in the object, so it will contain with the spread operator, and the spread operator first will contain the previous state we have defined in that, and then it will contain the second values, like second it will contain the property name, like this is the property description to access the property in the object, and to access the property it will go to the event, like e parameter that we have got, event dot target dot name, and the event dot target dot name. So whenever it will go like the name, like first it will go to the name, so its name is the name, and it will go to the set inputs name. So the set inputs name is also the name, so it will update the value of the set input field from this name. So they all are connected now. So the set input field will contain the event dot target dot value, which is a default method in JavaScript to get the values of every object, like event dot target dot value. So if I will now save, and if I will now just console.log that which input field is now contained, if I will now console.log, and it will contain like event dot target dot name, and it will contain like the empty space, and it will contain the event dot target dot value. So if I will now save, then you will see it will show you that which input field is now changed. So if I will now change this, so if I will now update this, so if I will now give a value as this as the A, so then you will see the name contain the A. So if I will now give the value of the description, so then you will see description A. If I will now give the value of price, then you will see price E, the number equals to the E, the number equals to the 5. So if I will now update the value of this name, so if I will now contain the AA, AAA, so then you will see previous state is also there in the A. So this will contain the previous state from 3 dots. So previous state is also there, and then it will append the new value to the object property. So then this is how can we update the value. So if I will now remove this console.log now, and now we have to define the onSubmit prop to the form. So I will define the onSubmit. So whenever the form will be submitted, so the onSubmit prop will run, and we will point the function to that, and it will be the submit handler. So it will be the submit handler to that. So if I will now send the request, so if I will now create a function like const submit handler, and it will be equals to the submit handler function, and it will contain the event as the parameter, and it will be acting like an arrow function. We have to define here the like event.prevent default, and the prevent default will prevent the browser to refresh the page whenever the form will be submitted. So it will contain the event.prevent default. So if I will now save this, and now we have to define the button here at the end of the form, and the button will contain as the type equal to the submit. So we have to go to the React, and then we have to select here the button component from the material UI. So I will copy this button component like the contain button. So if I will now copy that, and if I will now go, and if I will now paste this button component before the form, and the variant equals to contain, the text will contain as the submit, and the type will also be the submit. So now we have to define here the console.log to the inputs now. So now I have defined here the console.log to input. So whenever we will submit the form, it will show us all of the input field values with the inputs. So now if I will now save, then if I will now go to the, so now if I will now go here, so if I will now define here like the product 1, and it will contain the description like description, the price equals to that, and the image URL is that, and the quantity is like here the 12. So if I will now define here the submit, so then you will see all of the details will be there like name, product 1, image is featured, now is the false. So we have to fix this is featured, and the name and the price. So now these all are okay. So now we have to define here the is featured, and then we have to send the request to the backend. So to fix the now is featured field, so we have to remove the name, and then we have to give the name to the form control label, and then we have to give a value as the on change with that, and then we have to give a on change to that with that. So now the checkbox will contain a on change prop with the on change, and then we have to define here the function, because now this function, the handle change function, will only update the text of the components like event.target.value, but in the checkbox now we have to get the value from the event.target.checked. So we have to get that. So then we have to define the function here only. So it will contain the E as the function parameter and the event value, and then it will contain an arrow function. An arrow function will contain as the set input fields in that, and the set input arrow function will contain here the set input in that. So we have to define as the set inputs, and the set inputs will contain here first the previous objects, like first we have to define the previous, and the previous will contain here now, and the previous will be here. So first we have to define here as the brackets now, and then we have to define here in the objects. So first it will contain the P, and then it will contain the new object, and the new object will contain the is featured property in that, and the is featured property we have to get here from that is featured, and we have to copy this property. We have to give this is featured property here in these strings. So the is featured, and then we have to save this value as the, and then save this value as the event dot target dot checked. So if I will now save after this, it will be the checked. So if I will now save, then you will see it will show us the real input value. So if I will now define here the input as the true, so then you will see it will show us the true in the is featured. So then you will see true, and if I will now uncheck this, so then you will see it will give us the false value. So now you will see is featured is also now okay. So now we have to provide a HTTP request to that, and then we have to give the same as we did in the products component, and we have to define a fetch function for that. So in the submit handler, we have to define here the function as the fetch handler const. It will be like the send product or like the send request, and it will be equals to a function, and it will contain again an async function. So we have to define an async, and it will contain a equals to with that, and then we have to define here the method here. And for that, first we have to give here the request. We have to send the request to the database. So then we have to select the await and the function from the fetch, and the fetch will contain the function in that, and it will contain the URL like we did in the products. So we have to get the URL from the products. So we can get here. So the URL is here as the products. And now after this, we have to now define here the method as the second parameter. So the second parameter will contain an object, and it will be the method first, and it will contain as the post. So we have to define the method as the post, and then we have to define another parameter in it, and it will contain the headers. So the headers in it will contain the request headers. So we have to specify the headers in the request. So the headers will contain as an object. So the object property will be like the content. It will be then the type content dash type, and then it will contain the value again in the string as the application and the JSON. So it will contain as this. It will contain the content type, and then it will contain the application / JSON. So then we have to define here the body, and the body will contain the data which we have got in the input fields. So we have to define here the body, and it will contain the data like, and now we have to stringify the data from the JSON also. So we have to define here the stringify method here with that, and it will contain the JSON dot stringify, and it will stringify all of the object properties and methods in that and the values in that, and it will contain an object again. So the name in the database is like the name, and then the name value will contain as the inputs dot name. So the name will contain the inputs dot name, and then we have to define here the description, and the description will contain the inputs dot description. So it will contain the description of the inputs, and then it will contain the price, and the price will also contain the inputs dot price, and the price in database is a number field. So we have to wrap this in the number. So we have to convert it into a number. You have to type here the number and then the brackets. So it will convert the field into a number field. So then you have to define here the image URL, and it is a inputs dot image, and then we have to define here the quantity, and the quantity will contain the inputs dot quantity, and it is a number field. So we have to define here the number field again as the number. We have to convert it to number. The number will contain inputs dot quantity, and then we have to define here the is featured again, and the is feature will contain the boolean value. It will contain the boolean, and the boolean will contain inputs dot is featured. So then we can define here the promises also. So after the send request function, so after the await function, so we have to define here the then statement. So we can define here the then. So after the request will be sent, so the response parameter will be given, and the response, and we will convert the response to the JSON. So it will the response.json, and then you will see we have to send here again then, and the then will contain again as the history. Like if I will now define here as the history, if I will now import the history from that, like const history equals to the use history, and the use history we will import it from the React Router DOM. Use history from the React Router DOM, and the use history is here, and then we have to define here as the history parameter like use history, and it will contain the reference of the use history, and then we have to define here the use history like history dot push, and it will push to the products page, like to the products. So now it will push us after the request to the products page, and then we have to specify a catch also, like if there is an error, so it will send us the catch error in that. So in the catch we have to define the
error parameter, and then we will just console.log the error. So if I will now save and if I will now run this function after this, so if I will now run this function, the send request function, so it will be the send request. So if I will now save and if I will now just console.log, or if I will now just save again, then you will see there is no any error, and now we have to go to the backend server and then we have to start the server again. So if I will now start the server, and now if I will now send the request from the front end, so it should show me that the product's added. So if I will now send the request from that, from this function, like the first, it will be the product 4 and the product description is there, the price equals to this, image equals to this, and now the quantity equals to the 1 2 3, the is featured equals to the true. So if I will now send, so then you will see we are now located to the product page, and now you will see the product 4 is added here. So guys, now the add operation is done, and now it's time to create the product detail operation. And now for the detail operation, first we have to create a new component with the new file with the product detail.js, the product detail. And now we have built the product detail.js, and now we have to build the CSS file also. So we can create a CSS file also. And now for the detail of the product, now we have to fetch the product from the URL which will contain the ID of the product. We are sending here the ID equals to the key, but now we will send here the actual product ID, which will be the product dot, and it will be underscore ID, which MongoDB gives us. So now we will send the product ID, and now we have to get the ID in the product detail component. And for that, first we have to build a new route, and the route will contain that ID. So for that, first we have to go to the product.js, and then we have to provide here the details. And for the edit function, we have to provide a link instead of the button. It will directly go to the product detail component. I will import here the link, like import. It will contain from the React Router DOM. So it will be the link from that. So now we have to send here the link from the edit button, and now we have to wrap the link inside the button component. So I will create a link here, may contain the link, and then the link will contain a toProp, and toProp will contain this side an ID of the product. And to provide an ID, we have to use here the curly brace, and we have to use here the template iterators, and it will go to the /products as well as /product, and it will go to /product ID, and the product ID we have to give from the props, and we are getting the product ID from the products, like from the products.js. We are getting this product ID equals to key, and then we have to provide here the real ID instead of the key. And to provide the real ID, we have to use a product dot underscore ID, which the MongoDB gives us. So we are now providing the ID as the product.id. So we have to use here the ID as the like product, or like the props dot ID. So now it will go to the props.id, and now then we can only show this ID to that, and then we can also send here the link. So if I will now send here as the edit here, so if I will now save, then you will see this will be now as the link. So now this will show me the edit here. So now we have to define a route in the app.js. So whenever we will go to this route, like if I will now click on this edit, so then you will see now we are moving to the ID here. So because of this, if I will select this ID, then I will go to this ID. So now we are going to the ID. So now we have to go to the products, the main app.js, and then we have to define here the main route. From that we will get this ID from the URL, and then we will show the detailed product here, and then we can edit the products from their page, from the page itself. So if I will now send here, create a new ID, if I will copy this and if I will just paste here again, and this will contain as the product, and then this will contain slash and it will colon ID, and the colon is used to add the parameter between the URLs, and we can get the parameters via the use params in the React Router DOM hook. So it will contain the product detail. So then it will contain the product detail component. If I will now go to this product detail component, it will import the, or we have to import the product detail component. So whenever the route will go to the product slash this ID, so it will go to the product detail component. So if I will now save, and if I will now move on to the product detail component, and now we have to get the ID from the URL, and to get the ID from the URL we have first to import the use params hook from the React router DOM. So I will import from the React router DOM. So I will import here the use params. So then we have to get the ID from the params. So I will create ID like const ID equals to the, now it will contain the use params dot ID, the use param functions dot ID. So now it will contain the ID which we are sending here. So if we are sending here only the ID, so it will get the ID, but if I will select here the PID or any ID like PID, so we have to give here the PID, so it will contain the PID in that. So then we have to use here the product component. So now we have to go to the product details, and then if I will just display this ID to the user, like if I will just display like this is product ID, and the ID will display is like the ID. So if I will now save, then I should see the ID here in the product. So now you will see this is the ID which we are getting in the URL. So now it's time to fetch the product from the database from this ID. So except the return statement, I will just remove this, and I will create a div. So now we have already created a get request in the products.js. So we have to go to the product.js, and if I will copy this use effect function there, and if I will now paste this use effect function in the product detail component. So if I will just paste, and if I will just import the use effect from the React, and I have to import the use effect, and then you will see now we have the use effect here, and now we have to define here the use state also, and the use state now will contain two parameters, and it will contain the product, only the single product, and there will be functions, and your const use state like const product, and the set product will be equals to here the use state, and the use state will contain here the default and the empty object. So it will contain the set product, and the set products will be there instead of the set products. So it will contain the set product and the data dot product, and now it will be the data dot product. And now we have to provide here the ID also, and to provide the ID we have to remove the strings, and we have to use the template literals here. So and then we have to provide here the template literals, and then we have to provide here the ID, and the ID will contain in the expression, so it will be the ID. And now if I will define here the product, like if we have the product, if we have the now the product here, and then we have to render here the ID like him. So if I will define here the product dot name, so if I will now save, so whenever we will have the product, then this code will be rendered. So if I will now save, then you will see product 4 now we have, and now we have the product. And now we have to update the product from the URL, and now we have to go to the home.js, and I will copy the form we have had there. So if I will now copy this form from here, and if I will now use here the same form, and if I will now copy this, if I will now go to the product detail after this div, if I will now create another form like this, if I will just create another div, which will be update form. So if I will now save, and if I will now add the form component inside it, so then you will see the text field is there. If I will now import the text field from the material UI, and if I will now import the form control label from the material UI, and if I will now import the checkbox and buttons from the material UI, and if I will now import this, and then button from and the checkbox from the material UI. So if I will now save, then you will see it will give us an error like on the on change we have here the function. So we have to select here the handle change here. So we have to create a handle change function here after the use effect const handle change, and it will be equals to function, and this will contain an arrow function with a parameter event inside it. So then you will see the inputs is not defined, so we have to define the inputs. So first we are defining the products, and for that we can define here the inputs also. But here if I will define here the inputs as the const inputs like in the use state, and the set inputs, and it will be equals to the use state, and the use state will contain an object, and the object will contain this time the blank, and this time we will create the inputs dynamically. And to create the inputs dynamically, first we have to set the products like in the then statement in the fetch handler. So we have to set the product. If I will wrap this inside the curly braces, so after the set products, and then we have to wrap the products like set inputs. Like now we will set inputs to the products, and the default inputs will be created as the name. So the name value will be created as the data, like it will contain the data dot product dot name. So I will copy the data dot product, so the description, and now the description will contain description, and it will contain as the data dot product dot description, and same for the price, data dot product dot price, and now it will contain the image. It will contain data dot product dot image URL, and then it will contain the isFeatured. isFeatured will contain the data dot product dot isFeatured. So if I will now save, then you will see product 4, product description, the outline, this, and the image URL, and all is there. So the image URL and quantity is not there, so we have to fix that, and we have shown the isFeatured is there. So if I will now remove the if I will now check this, like the why the image URL and the quantity is not coming, so we have to see the backend here, and then you will see we are giving here the we are now giving here the image URL, so we have to see the image URL here. So we have to provide the image URL. So I will provide here the image as the image URL. Is the image URL. So if I will now save again, then you will see image will be there. So now you will see the URL will be there. So now to update these forms, and now we have to send the request to the backend now. And for that, first we have to design the first we have to align the form, and to align the form it will be the update form. So we have to go to the product detail.css, and we have to define the alignment of it. And first it will contain margin of 10% from all sides, and it will contain padding of 10 pixels again from all the sides. So if I will now save, and if I will now import the product detail.css in the product detail file, so it will contain import product detail .css. So if I will now save, so now the alignment is okay. So now we have to define here the outlined and all. So for that, first we have to define the outlined and all. So it will contain the label, as it will contain the price, it will contain the image, it will contain the image inside it, it will contain the and this have to configure the like the price. We have to configure the description, so the description will contain here the description in the label, and it will contain the name as the name in the label. So it will contain the name. So if I will now save, then you will see the name, description and all will be there, like the name, description, the price, image and the label, and we have to define the label here as the isFeatured. So it will contain the isFeatured. So now we have to get the updated values from the text fields, and for that we have to go to the product detail component, and we have to specify the function in the handle chain. So the function will be it will just set inputs again as we did in the product add components. It will contain the previous state of the function. First contain the previous state, and then it will contain here the new state, and after that we have to provide a value of this in an object, and the object will contain the previous state first, and then it will contain, and then we have to provide here the updated state with the event, with the property of the event dot target dot name, and the value will be again the event dot target dot value. So whenever any input field will change, so this will act as this will update the name, like whenever the name will change, it will see the name, that name is changed, and now it will see the value of it, and it will update it. So now if I will now save, then I should see all of the details here. So if I will now save, and if I will now in the submit handler, if I will just console.log the inputs here, then I should see the updated inputs here. So if I will now save, and if I will now run again, if I will now add here the product 4 as the product 5, like the product 5, and if I will now add in the description like it is the updated description. So if I will now save, then you will see in the console window, if I will now inspect this, so the details will be shown in the console window. So if I will now save, then you will see this is an object and this contains the description as the updated description, product 5, and the details as the old. So these are how can we do the updates. So now we have to send the HTTP request to the database to update the products in the database, and for that we have to add here the HTTP request. So we can get the same HTTP request that we have sent in the home component to add the product. So if I will now get this function, the send request function, and if I will now copy this function, if I will now paste in the product detail in the submit handler, so it will contain the function. So then we have to send here the localhost 5000 products, and then it will be the products, and it will the slash and the products ID, and the products ID which will contain we send here. So I will remove here the simple strings, and I will add here the template literals, and this ID will be contained as the product ID. So we have to provide the ID here that we have got from the ID here, this ID. So we have to give this ID, and then the method will be now the patch, and the request will be the same like input.name, description, and also content type is there, headers are there, stringify body is there, and now they all is there. And now we have to send this, and now we have to push to the products, to the updated products. So if I will now save, and now we have to run this product, and if I will now run this function, the send request function after this, if I will now copy that, and if I will now run after this request, so then if I will now save, then I should see there is no any errors there. So then you will see I should see there is no any error. So if I will now update the product, like this contains a mobile, and this contains a description as a description like there is a new mobile, and this contains a price equals to the 5000, and this contains a sample image, and if I will now submit the request, then I should see it will go to the main component. So now you will see this is the mobile, and this is the details of the mobile. So if I will go to edit, so then you will see this is the details. So if I will now pick a real image, and if I will now create some more components with it, so I have to go to the image. So if I will now add this link in the image, so if I will now submit the request, then I should see there should be an image, but the image is not coming. So we have to go to the product component, product.js, and we have to select the props.image as the source, and we have to select the image equals to the props.image, and we have to check this where it is coming. It is coming from the products.js, and we are sending the image or not, products.image, and now we have to send here the image URL with the image URL. So if I will now send this, and you will see image should be there in that. So now you will see the image is there, and now we have to just to delete the product, and to delete the product we have to go to the product.js, and now to delete the product, now we have to define the onClick this function, and we have to define the function after onClick. onClick will be equals to delete handler, and we have to provide a delete handler function with that. So if I will go before the return statement, cons delete handler equals to the arrow function, and it will contain an async function, again async, and now we will use here the await, and it will use the await, and we have to fetch the request again, and it will be the fetch. We have to fetch the URL, and it will contain the template literal. So HTTP localhost @5000, and we have to send the request /products, and we have to give the ID, and the ID we will get from the products, and we are sending the product ID equals to the ID. So we can get this ID from here, and if I will now select this ID here is the props.id, and then it will delete the product, and then we have to define an object here, and the object will contain a method, and the method now will be the delete. So it will contain the delete, and now we have to send this request, and then we can use here the then statements like then, and after the then there will be the response, and we have to convert the response to the JSON as we did in the whole project, and now it will do as a then again, and it will now import the history from the React outer DOM. So we have to import the history again, use history, and we have to get the history from the history function like cons history will be equals to use history. So if I will now save, and if I will now give here the history equals to, then we have to provide here the callback function. We have to provide here the history like history, and it will be the history dot push, and it will move on to the slash product. So history dot push and the slash product, and then we have to use the catch catchment. So it will the catch, and if there is an error, so it will just console.log the error. So if I will now save, and if I will now go to the products file, so if I will now click on the delete, then you will see it is now deleted. So then if I will now select here the delete, so then you will see it is now deleted. So now the whole CRUD operation is completed, and now we have to fix some things like there is some name and app description in the home component. So in the home, if I will define here some the home.js, if I will define some labels from here like the outline, it will be the name, and it will be like the, and it will contain the description, and it will contain the and it will contain the price, the label equals to the price, and it will contain the image. So it will contain label equals to image URL, and quantity we haven't defined, so I will remove the quantity from this, and from that also I will remove the quantity. So we have to remove this, and from there also I will remove the quantity. So then if I will now define here like the is featured in that label, like is featured. So if I will now save it, and if I will now send the request again, so then you will see this contain the name, description, price, image, URL. So it will be like the name equals to the like Android, and it contains the new phone, and the price will contain the 5,000 rupees, and the image URL will contain this, and this is a feature. So if I will now send the request, so then you will see mobile is there now, this Android is there. So if I will now design here some buttons here also, and to edit this buttons, so we can use here the material UI buttons. So we have to use here the product, and then we have to select here, and then we have to remove here the simple button, and we have to import the material UI button. So if I will just import the material UI button from that, so it will look good like the button, and from that also it will contain like the button, and this also it will contain the button. So if I will now save, then you will see it will look good. The delete is looking good, and the edit is underlining inside it. So if I will define a class name, it will be the class name, and it will be equals to the like the link URL, it will be the link URL, and if I will now define the link URL in, and if I will define a color equals to the blue, so if I will now save, then you will see color equals to the blue, and now the delete and OK, and now the delete color is good, and the edit color is good now. So if I will now click on this edit, so now you will see everything is working now. So guys, this is our project that we have built, and we have created the backend, and then we have created the front end. So guys, this is our project, and guys, for the final thing, it is the responsive project. So if you will check it is responsive or not, so you can check by reducing the Chrome window. So you can check by going to the products, and if you will increase the window, so then you will see it is fully responsive project. So now, so guys, this is our project.